affective disorder affects nearly 5% of Americans. No one knows exactly what causes it, but the most common theory is it happens when someone's biological clock falls out of sync with clock time. Taking the whole turkey out of your holiday meal and choosing a turkey breast can save you around 200 calories per serving. In less than an hour, the Parade of Athletes begins. I'm here with Sherry Grossman, Director of Sales. So how long does something like this take to set up and put together?
You know, it's a huge undertaking to have.
Berg says over the next couple months, Washington will tackle a lot of the main issues. He even joked that North Dakota's legislature should come in on their off year to help out. In temperatures like this, it can take less than 20 seconds for any exposed skin to get frostnip. It's a classic fair favorite that gives you the best of both worlds. Salty and sweet. Energy drinks have 4 to 5 times more caffeine than your average can of Coke, and they're also twice the size. The helicopter cuts response time in about half, offering paramedics a mini emergency room to treat the most critical of patients. Enjoying one winter activity? I'm Megan Lowry with KX News. When an emergency happens, it can take you by surprise.
With the fire, the biggest thing is to get everyone accounted for and out of the building as quickly as possible.
This is only a drill, but for students and staff at Centennial Elementary, it feels very real. It's part of the Bismarck School District's emergency preparedness plan. The district runs a crisis drill where only the principal is in on it.
Nothing's ever going to go by plan. Things are always going to go wrong. We're always going to have students in the bathroom. Someone's going to be missing to be accounted for. So we practice doing that.
The school is challenged when the simple fire drill is made more complicated by adding an extra element of crisis.
We know the schools and the students and staff know how to respond to a fire drill. What we did today is we blocked one of the exits so they had to think on their feet and get their students out with them an alternate route. In addition, when they were out there, we took a student without anyone knowing. So we took and squirreled one of the students away, and they had to account for him, find out that this student was missing, get the word out, do a search outside the building while the fire department was in here doing a search.
In less than 3 minutes, teachers noticed they're missing a student.
Callie Hansen, support team, over here.
Making communication a vital tool.
The crisis boils down to the teachers' anxiety to the drill and the way they prepare their children for that.
The drill only lasts about 10 minutes, but Centennial Principal Tyler Hansen says it's a big confidence builder for the entire year.
We will come together as a staff and see what maybe needs to be tweaked or what we did really well, what maybe we could do a little bit better. So, but all in all, very proud of the way our staff performed the drill.
Megan Lowry, KX News. Neighbors, friends, and families gathered on the Capitol steps to honor a young boy most of them have never met.
We look at our kids and we wonder, how could anybody ever hurt something so precious?
Jamie Lawler, a mother of 5, is just one of more than 50 people using her voice to speak out against child abuse.
We need to stand up, and that one voice does mean something. Don't be afraid.
Lawler says too often people step up too late. Authorities say Conrad had bruises all over his body, varying in healing stages, a sign of ongoing abuse.
I read stories like this in other countries, and then it's somebody who's right there, and it comes home, and it's in your face.
Beverly Roberts got a call from her friend, Conrad's aunt, asking her to pray for her nephew.
Can't imagine being 18 months old and wondering why mommy won't pick me up. No matter what child it is, but Conrad had the worst ending.
Beverly says North Dakota's laws don't do enough to protect children against their abusers, and that needs to change.
We will no longer accept words like simple in the same sentence as child abuse. There's nothing simple about it. If you do it, you go to jail. If you do it again, you get your child taken. And if you do it again, it's life without parole.
Tonight, the community's message rings loud and clear.
If we all don't stand up for this, it's never going to change, and kids are going to keep dying, and people are going to keep saying why, and everybody's going to keep saying, I don't know.
We'll march here every day if we have to. We'll march around the courthouse if they want us to walk from here to Minot to prove our point. This is not going to happen as long as I have a voice, because Conrad doesn't have one.
Megan Lowry, KX News. Amber, the shooting is believed to have happened just a half block to my left. The police say it happened near a garage of a house on the 200th block of 5th Avenue in Mandan, leaving one person dead and another critically injured. Neighbors say they're still in shock.
we woke up to just police. You know, there's no sirens, no nothing, just lights in the street. And we had got downstairs to make sure everything was all right.
Travis Dilley quickly learned everything wasn't all right.
They actually evacuated the house on the south side of the street at gunpoint, you know, pointed at, don't know what, but pointed at the house. Had officers in my yard pointing guns at the back of the house. They had pretty well blocked off the street.
Mandan Deputy Chief Paul Langang says immediately after arriving on scene, officers worked to secure the area.
They did an excellent job once they arrived with the manpower they had. And we were assisted also by the Morton County Sheriff's Department and the North Dakota Highway Patrol. Those other agencies coming together to help us is really something that's huge.
Langang says once officers established there was no immediate danger, their focus was locating witnesses.
We're still processing the crime scene, and you got to make sure you have everything identified in its proper location.
For people passing by, the scene looks like something out of a movie.
It's crazy. We were going breakfast up at the Ridge and seeing all this stuff going on. And then when we got up there, people were talking. You know, people have already heard about what's going on, and yeah, it's kind of a big deal. You know, people are really shocked about it all over. Kind of a scary feeling.
A deadly scene on a usually quiet street.
I live right next door to a school right over here. It's rather unfortunate what happened. I mean, probably for something silly.
Amber police put a shield around the body to preserve the crime scene during their investigation. Police left the scene late this afternoon. In Mandan with KX News, I'm Megan Lowry. Even in blistery temperatures, fresh snow is hard to resist.
They really like the fresh snow. We build a snowman for them. That's great for them. They think it's something great. They can knock that over and play with that for hours.
From tigers to bison, the animals are a stark contrast to the bare background.
So many of the animals look their best this time of year. The big shaggy coats, the wolves, mountain lions, bears, of course. Really all of those creatures that thrive in the winter.
Away from the summer crowds, Zoo Director Terry Lincoln says the animals are visibly more active this time of year.
It's a different place, and the animals are different. I think in many cases are more friendly.
An attitude you might not expect to see in below zero temperatures.
You know, so people always think about the animals, what's it like on the animals? And the animals that are outside, they're very well acclimated to this. We feed them a little bit more hay or make sure their water's open or give them more bedding in their houses, but essentially they're doing well. It's the keepers that have to get out day in and day out.
Zookeeper Dave Eli makes this round at least once a day.
The first 10-15 minutes it's cold, but then you start to warm up, you keep busy. In the wintertime it's real quiet down here, and you get to spend a little bit more time one-on-one with the animals.
Something humans have to prepare for.
So it's layers, as many layers as you can get on under your clothes and as many as you can put on over.
When you're not born with a warm fur coat.
Say hi.
Megan Lowry, KX News.